Hello, everybody. It is showtime. It is Wednesday. It is your midweek Macca break. I'm Tom Hunyadi, two legs. It's kind of a crappy day, but you know what? I'm going to do this from outside. There might be some noises here and there that you guys are going to pick up, but apologize about that. If it gets too crazy, I'll go back inside. But anyways, I thought since it was pleasant outside, it's not too hot, not too muggy. So what the hell? Let's do a show outside. So, anybody out there hear any rumors? Any good rumors out there lately? Um, if you're watching, let me know who you are. I see Tony made a comment last night. Thank you very much, Tony. And Uncle Paul, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Yes, thank you, Paul. I had a friend do that for me, and he Ethan Alexanian, and he'd done a bunch of our thumbnails about 4 or 5 years ago. We did the ranking the tracks series, and he did all the thumbnails for that. Hello, Lynn. Yes. So I didn't realize he had this one. I ordered this about 3 weeks ago, and then he wore this one when he did his response video with Billy Tone about Billy Tone's McCartney II show. So, but yeah, I like this one a lot. I ordered this one, and I ordered the Chaos and Creation, which I will wear for at the Fest of Beatle fans for a particular panel Andy and I will be doing. So James, how you doing, my friend? Here we go. Oh my God, the temptation is driving me crazy. I cannot wait. We got a nice little hint from Paulie this morning. I was going to download the image and show the image, but no, I didn't. But yeah, we got a little hint this morning. A couple guitar picks. Paul McCartney on one, Got Back 2025 on the other, which I'm surprised. I mean, let's say he is doing a new album this year as well. I'm kind of surprised he's doing the same, calling this tour, using the same name for this tour. So, but we'll see. Thank you, Lynn. Yes, my friend Ethan Alexanian helped me with this one, but it's something that I'm going to learn how to do here in the future. Hey, Violetti, how are you? Yeah, well, I'm just outside. That's all. It's a nice day. It was raining earlier, but it's actually nice and cool today, which is I like right now, and it feels good. So, anyways, yes. So, I'm hoping this week, tomorrow, maybe Friday, we'll get official announcements for a new tour for here in the States, and maybe one or two in Canada. But what do you guys think? If you're here in the States, are you excited for a new tour? It's been 3 years, right, since Paul toured the States, and I'm excited. I really am excited. I can't wait to see. What cities he'll be playing in. We did get one up that showed up on the Hoffman Forum for, I think, Columbus, Ohio. So that could be one of the dates. There's got to be something in the New York, New Jersey area. Hopefully there'll be like Detroit or Chicago, possibly Indianapolis. And Paul says he's always excited to see Paul. Absolutely. Same here. Lynn says, I'm more interested in the new album, so that appears first. Yeah, that's the thing, is just like, does he announce both at the same time, or does he announce the tour first, then the new album? I think he should get away from the Got Back title now. I mean, he's been using that for multiple years. I think it's time to get rid of that tagline for a show, but either way, whatever. I'm just excited that we're going to get a chance to see McCartney again and who knows how many more chances we're going to see. So I'm going to make the most of this one. I'm going to try to go to as many of these shows as possible. And again, we just need to see the tour dates, right? We just need to see the dates where he's playing, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, I'm like you guys. I would love to see I would love to see the album first. But I'll get to Mazzy's comment here in a second. But I agree, needs a new tour name if there's going to actually be. Yeah, I agree, Lynn. I agree. And how you doing, Lynn? Good to see you. And and you damn well know, Mazzy, he would never do anything like that. The almost done tour, 2025, 26. I hope it doesn't go into 26. I hope this is just a quick, it looks like it might be arenas, and not football stadiums, which would make sense because you can get more shows in quicker that way. So it's less expensive when you do arenas over stadiums. You're looking at a week at a time with a stadium. I mean, yeah, you might have 2 or 3 teams going to a different city, but those arena shows are usually one and done. It takes could take 6-7 hours to get everything set up, as opposed to a week when you're doing a stadium. So yeah, let's see. I'm excited. I just hope it's the same set list, same stories. Well, damn well it's going to be the same set lists. It's going to be the same stories because at these shows there's going to be so many more people that are there for the first time as opposed to people that have been there multiple times. Maybe we'll see. Anyways, that's his excuse. Anyways, well, there's always a new person there, who wants to see Hey Jude. So he's got to do Hey Jude, He's got to do the Jimi Hendrix thing after Let Me Roll It, Yeah, I mean, it's time for new stories. Now this, you might have won the internet with this one, my friend. The 28 If Tour. Very good. Yep, that's right, Lynn. Got Ollie here. How you doing, Ollie? Good to see you. James says this may just be another McCartney III color. And you know what? I'll buy it. You know what? Who am I kidding? I'll buy it. I don't care. James, glad you're here, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Hope you and your family are doing well. Lynn says, hey, I've never been to a concert yet, so would be happy with the same old set. You've never been to a concert? Is that right, Lynn? Wow. Oh, there's an announcement. Yeah, I think it's coming. Yeah. Well, we know that at Beetle Eddie. We know that. We know he should just do deep cuts, right? I mean, I'd go to every show. So will I. Yes, sir. Norman, Mazzy says, looking forward to meeting you in Chicago. Yes, I'm looking forward to it. I'll be there. I'll get there Thursday, and then I'll leave at some point Sunday evening. Take the 5-hour drive back to Michigan because I'll have to work on Monday. But yeah, that's gonna be great, Mazzy. I'm glad you're going. Is this gonna be your first Beatles Fest? See, I just saw the rumor about the tour. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's a rumor anymore. I think we can pretty much say that it's a pretty much a done deal. Only question is whether or not it's going to be, excuse me, arenas, stadiums, or both. What venues is he going to be playing in? Let's see here. Not a Paul's. Okay. All right. I got you now. Okay. Noah says, I hope it's true. Yep. I got you, buddy. I got you. I hope it is true, but I think it is. I think McCartney has shuffled his set adequately. It's just there's 10, 15 songs. Hello. Yeah. Yeah, and he'll always bring back one or two songs that he hasn't played in 4 or 5 years. The Lettermans, the Sea Moons, the stuff like that, and the Junior's Farms. He doesn't always do Junior's Farm. He'll do it for one or two tours, and then he'll put it on the bench for 4 or 5 years. Okay, and then he'll go back to it. We would love to see him do more stuff from the '80s, right? We would love him to see him do, Press or Spies Like Us, right? Those songs. Let's see here. Can't wait for the new album. How you doing, Luke? Yeah. Yep. Same here. I really can't. Listen, this new album with the producer, he did a great job with the Rolling Stones album. Andrew Watts, he did a great job with the new Elton John album. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does with McCartney. I'm looking forward to hearing the story, right, of this, whether or not Andrew Watt, challenged him, or how much they collaborated together. Is it more of like a Nigel Godrich story, or is it more like a David Kahn, kind of story? So let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. Noah says, I hope small venues like clubs or theaters. Yeah, that won't happen though. We'll see. I mean, maybe he might do a small theater, to warm up, like he did with the Bowery. Lynn, absolutely, he would come to Detroit. I think he would come to Detroit. Absolutely. He could play the Ford Field. So, or Little Caesars Arena. I would love that. Let's see. I've been to about 20, going back to 76, San Francisco, LA. We went to all of them in 82. After Beatles, England book came out. I went to the big Manhattan show. Okay, last one was in 2014. Okay, cool. Excellent. Hello, James. How are you? Glad to see you, my friend. Now, has the ELO show happened yet, or is it still on its way? The last ELO show, did you see that yet? And how was it? I think stadiums caused that rumor. Yeah, right. I mean, what happened was they were interviewing, I can't remember if it was ESPN or whatnot. They were interviewing a guy who does schedules for NFL, and he let it leak that, a team was playing in another city, and that's possibly be because of Elton John and Paul McCartney were touring. They wanted to do stadiums, and as we know now, Billy Joel unfortunately dropped out of his tour because of health reasons. So who knows if Paul's still going to be playing these stadiums or just going to arenas. We shall see. James, hey Tom, where are you? I hope you're treating you well so far. Yeah, I'm just outside. That's just outside. That's it. There was a nice. I mean, it's a kind of a crappy day. It was raining earlier, but it's nice outside right now. So I just decided to come outside. Let's see. Lynn says, I don't like the Ford Field for concerts. Okay. Well, I haven't been there yet. I did see ELO there last year. Not at Ford Field, but at Little Caesars Arena. And I did like the show there. I thought that was good. So I would definitely go back there for another show. If Paul decided to play there, I will, I have no problem with that. But if it's Ford Field, it is what it is. I mean, as long as he comes here, I mean, that'd be great. But I'm sure there'll be other cities close by where I can drive to or fly to and go there as well. Belen says, great if you would do a complete album. Like, yeah. I don't think he'll ever do that either, but that would be cool. My cousin, Dave Viking, Duke Viking, whatever you want to be called here. Hasn't played Detroit since October 17, so it could be so you're looking at what, 8 years since he's played Michigan? So that's great. Let's get him back to Detroit. Let's get him back to Detroit. Yeah, okay. Yellow's this Sunday, and then Stevie Wonder Saturday too. That's great, man. What a 2 days that is going to be. What a 2 days that is going to be. I hope Paul has an opening act this time. Why? Why? More Paul, better. I mean, I know it sucks, kind of sucks where you can get into the venue 2 hours, prior to Paul coming out. You're just sitting there and you're sitting there. I don't mind that. I mean, I like to get in. I like to get my merch right away. Um, and I mean, that's how I like to. I don't like to wait in line for an hour to get my merch, so I'm going to try to get there as soon as possible. I don't mind the sitting and waiting. But yeah, look, a lot of bands would kill to open for McCartney, but I don't think he needs it. Uh, David says it'll be a mix of arenas and stadiums. Minnesota Date is a stadium. Columbus is an arena. Okay, there you go. So he's going to have a big team out there then. I would like him to play at Freedom Hill. Oh, that would never happen. But that would be funny if he did play that, or Pine Knob. But yeah, I'm really close to Freedom Hill here, as Duke here says. Yeah, I'm really close to Freedom Hill. Arenas would be better. Madison Square Garden is all right. Yeah. James says outside is always good. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing fantastic today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As this news is slowly starting to unveil itself, I couldn't be happier right now. I am just kid on Christmas morning. Uh, Jeff Lynne broke his hand in the London Cat. Was that okay? That's how it happened. Okay. Shows have gone ahead. He looks odd with no guitar. Yeah, that's true. And I didn't notice right away. But when they showed the close up of Jeff Lynne, I saw the cast or the brace or whatever you want to call it that's on his hand. So he broke it in a London cab. Okay, last cab to London, right? See here, I've been to the Little Caesar Arena. Yeah, or I have to be yeah, used to watch Red Wings hockey at the Joe Louis Arena. Yeah, I remember seeing one because the Pistons used to play at Joe Louis Arena as well, didn't they? Before they moved to the Palace. I've been to one game uh, at Joe Louis Arena when I was a kid before they moved to the Palace. Big place, big place. I haven't been to Little Caesars Arena or anything yet. I used to watch the Red Wings at Joe Louis. Yeah, I think I just read that, didn't I? Okay. As far as Paul's new tour, I really think that the Got Back theme has run its course. It has. Yeah, it has. I agree. I was talking about that earlier. Personally, I feel it's time for a pretty big shake-up in terms of set stage. Yes. I think we all can agree with that. Now, stage and stage design. Yeah. I mean, I can see him shaking that up before I see him shaking up the set list. Ellen says she's very close as well. That's cool. Let's see here. Ali says, "Is that shirt from the same place as the other album shirts? Only cotton this time." I think so. Yeah. So James Martinez at the New Jersey Fest earlier this year, he got Andy and I the Flowers in the Dirt shirt. So thank you for that again. And then he gave us the link to get the other shirts, and then like everything else, you got to get every single stupid one of them. So I got this one, and I got Chaos. And I'm not gonna wear the Chaos one until the fest, and we'll go from there. Yeah, I'm probably next week. I'll probably pick up another one. Probably just gonna start at the beginning now. So I'll probably get the first McCartney record, and then Ram, and then just go from there. See here, Paul was at Joe Louis in October 15. Yes, were you at that one, Mr. Viking? Do you usually get tickets from Ticketmaster? Problem is, it gets sold out before they get to me. Yeah, I mean, if you can get advanced tickets. If you're lucky enough to do that. Last time I saw him, excuse me, I was able to get advance tickets a day or two prior um, to them going on sale to everybody else. So that was pretty cool. James says, poor old Jeff. I hope he didn't try getting into the cab without a correct change. Okay. Mm, poor guy. Yeah, that's got to hurt. I mean, this is just thinking about getting your hand caught in like a cab door or something like that. Man, that's gotta hurt. Yeah, excuse me 1 second here. Let me check the phone. Uh, okay. Um, Duke says 8 years ago, Paul McCartney, four members got Precos. Yeah, yeah. I think was it that one? No, it was for the last time he played Phoenix in 22. Yeah, was it 22? Yeah, yeah. 15 Jello A. I did with my aunt and uncle. Okay, cool. So what are we looking forward to? I mean, yeah, he's coming to tour. Um, I mean, let's think realistically. I mean, do we even think there's a chance that he would go out on tour, not play Hey Jude or Band on the Run or Live and Let Die? I mean, for me myself, I look forward to seeing Live and Let. Of all the stuff that we know he's going to do, the one I usually always look forward to the most is Live and Let Die. I just love the explosions of that. The band is fantastic. Paul for me doesn't have to sing it the way he used to sing it. It's just the excitement of the explosions and the band and all that stuff. I love when he does Live and Let Die. I think it's just fantastic. Um, then you get into the Hey Judes and you get into the. I mean, is he gonna bring? Is he gonna keep doing the something the George Harrison tribute? I think he's going to keep doing that. Will he keep doing stuff like being for the benefit of Mr. Kite or I've got a feeling. I think he'll still keep. I think he'll keep doing. I've got a feeling, right, with the Peter Jackson footage, and yeah, he'll keep doing that. But but the stuff that maybe he hasn't done before. Again, it just I think it just whether or not he's going to put out a new album or not. And if he does any songs, see, I think where he went wrong with McCartney III with the Women and Wives is such a slower song. Maybe if he did, a faster song like Sliding or Find My Way or something like that, I think it would have been received a little better. You know, Laboratory Lil, who knows? Um, Peter Letty says, of course, he has to do his big hits. He should add some deep cuts or new album. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. But I don't want the slower stuff. I want it to. I just want it to be energy, energy, energy. Nonstop energy. Excuse me. Anyways, so yeah. Now when is that? When these going to shows going to take place? It's October, right? November probably. I hope it doesn't go into December because that's going to be harder for me to get the time off, just because I'm in the restaurant industry, and we're come end of November into December. It's just a madhouse. Okay, help! I need a new set list. Help! Very good, very good. Tony says proud of how well I did. Yeah, you did fantastic. Yeah, great job, Tony. All right, so we're 24 minutes in. Obviously, we're all excited about this new tour. If there's any other comments or questions, you please fire away. Anyways, but yeah, I'm like I said, I'm looking to try to get to three shows the most. with maybe depending on where he plays in Vegas. I do have connections with people in Vegas with the whole when I was part of a tour catering. Um, when I was doing my tour catering job, I was I made some good friends, had some good connections. So if he does play Vegas, depending on what venue it is, I don't think it'll be the Sphere though. I don't know if that's a big enough venue. I don't even know how many people the Sphere holds, so I'm gonna check that out. Um, it seats 17,000. So I mean that's a big number, including 20,000, including four. Maybe he could play the Sphere. Maybe he could. We will see. We'll see. Joseph Montaneo, how are you doing, my friend? Thank you for popping in. We're just talking about this upcoming tour we think is going to get announced here hopefully soon as hints get dropped. And, and where could we possibly be able to see him? I'm doing very good. Thank you. Thank you. I'm outside right now. It's a nice chill day. So I thought I'd just come outside and do a show. Ollie says, "I wonder if we do get a new name for the tour, whether it will be referring to a lyric from the forthcoming new album, like Out There. There was the name of the tour before we heard the song. Everybody out there, yeah, that's possible. That's possible. But then why even promote this tour as Got Back then if you're going to do that, right? Why keep bringing the past and present into it?" If it's just going to be changed in the somewhat distant, not distant, but the future. I don't know why would you do that. Just don't even call it Got Back. If you know it's going to be a different name, start calling it a different name, and then that's give us more to talk about, right? Oh, we changed the name of the tour. Why is it? What's the hint? But a lot of his tour names have been really silly, in my opinion. Good. I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that. Let's see. I'm wondering the same. Where will he play? Yep. Exactly. Where will he play? Beatletti, would you like to see 3 shows, not such great seats, or 1 show front row? Well, I mean, I might be in the position to where I can, do 1 really good seat, and then 1 or 2 nosebleed seats. I don't mind nosebleed seats with McCartney. I don't mind at all. As we know, these tickets are probably going to be kind of up there, right? So he will have a song called "Got Back." Yeah. Lynn says, I haven't been going to any concerts the last few years. I consider Little Caesars if he plays there, although I'm not lucky at getting tickets. Well, maybe we can help each other out there. If you need a ride or whatever, maybe we can commute together if you want. But again, that just depends on if he plays here in Detroit. And Andy should have a trivia game at the fest. Wally makes it too easy with his questions. Well, maybe. Tom Frangione, I mean, not all of his trivia questions are easy. Right? Okay. Let's see here. Joseph's exactly. A new name tour would be even better due to more to speculate about. Yes, absolutely. Yes. I agree. Silly names for tours. Yes. James says I'm on my last leg tour. Last leg tour. I like that. You and Byers really got some great comments. I love you too. Lynn says I wasn't happy with the Rolling Stones at Ford Field. Maybe it was my seat because people kept getting in my way. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. Thank you, Joseph. Yeah, this is all James Martinez's fault. Again, he got Andy and I the Flowers in the Dirt shirt that's like this. And, it's just like the front album cover and the back album cover artwork on all of these shirts. So, but yeah, I love them. I'm gonna get all of them. The next tour will be called Back to Pressing Play on London Town to push the immediate release of these three archive sets. Well, like I've said before, I think we're over on the archive releases. I want to be wrong, but I just think they're done. Tony says Frangione does the Name That Tune, which is hard when you only hear 2 seconds of a song. Well, could be. Be like, how much is the most you would spend on a ticket? Well, I mean, that's just the thing, if it's, the VIP package, I would probably, they're probably going to be like in the $1,000 range, so if I wanted to do that, that's how much I'd have to pay. Right. Other than that, I would probably, nosebleed seats, I'd probably, spend about 100 or 150, for the cheaper seats. Yeah, I do think it's a great shirt idea. James says, did you see Tone's? Yeah, I did. And I like Tone's opinions on when he does these album deep dive album shows. Maybe the tour will be the archive tour. Yeah, you guys keep bringing up the archives, but we're still waiting. McCartney brings back good memories for me. What about you? What are your favorite songs? Well, obviously we'll try to keep coming up out of it because I think that's probably everybody's favorite song from McCartney II. But I love the silly stuff. I love bogey music. I love Dark Room. One of these days has become one of my favorite McCartney tunes. I love On the Way. I love that they got B.B. King to do On the Way for that Art of McCartney set before he passed away. So yeah. I love Temporary Secretary. I love Temporary Secretary. So jealous that he did that song at a tour when he didn't come to Phoenix that one year. He did Temporary Secretary. So pissed off. Would love that. Let's see here. Lynn says, oops, wait a minute. Come on. There we go. Annie was using really hard questions for the Beatle trivias from the game. I did better with the solo questions. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I always look forward to the solo questions myself. As much as I love learning stuff about the Beatles, I've just been more in a more solo feel these last 10, 15 years. Really, yeah. See, Dark Room is awesome. I think so. Yeah, Dead in the Dirt. Nope, wrong one. Here we go. James says I would have had an edit Secret Friend on the album. Was that the London show he debuted Temporary Secretary? That's so awesome. I like Secret Friend a lot too. I don't even mind Check My Machine. Christopher, Nobody Knows is my favorite tune. Yeah, I like that one too. That's another silly one. Nobody knows. Yep. Too many Liverpool questions. Well, don't tell me this stuff. Tell him. but that stuff's good to know too, though. And I know he's, over the moon that he got to, and it's great that he got that 2 years experience at, in Liverpool. So cool. A lot of people I think would kill for the opportunity to be in Liverpool for 2 years and study the Beatles. That's fantastic. Fantastic. So, So yeah, so don't blame him for his excitement, for all things Liverpool. Summer's Day song is a good song too. Yeah. So I mean, in the long run, I mean, I mean, as we're talking about McCartney II, I mean, I guess it's got to be in the top half for me. I'm just talking about how many how many songs I like on the album. You know, U.S. tour announcement. There you go. It's 7 a.m. tomorrow. Well, I gotta set my alarm clock, huh? Uh, yeah, set my alarm clock. And this from the Hoffman Forum there, Duke. Would love to hear one of these days in concerts, but I'm sure he would never do. Yeah, unfortunately, not enough people know that tune. James says Liverpool is a great city. Excellent. I will get there one of these days. I will absolutely get there. Let's see here. Top 15 album for Tony D. Joseph says McCartney II is actually a great album. Well, let's just get rid of that. Actually, okay. I mean, us group. I mean, us. Here in the midweek Macca week, or Macca break, I should say. We all know that McCartney II is a good album, so we don't have to say actually. We just know it. Yeah, cool. I love all the love for that song. Yeah, and Duke is confirming my suspicion. Joseph said I'll be up at 6. Yeah. I'll be up early for that announcement. And then they'll probably go on sale the following Friday. Next week. Yes. I'm telling a lot of people here now that probably in the one of the weeks to come, whether it's this month or maybe I'll wait until the end of August. Here during the midweek Macca break, I am going to be ranking everything, every album, live, classical, experimental, canon, you name it. I'm going to be ranking it. So it might be a little bit of a long show, but that's my plans for a future episode of the midweek Macca break. So, but I'll announce that. I'll have a thumbnail just for that. But yeah. And who knows where McCartney II will end up in that ranking. But I've kind of been wanting to do this for a long time, where you just rank everything, mix in the live stuff, mix in the experimental and the classical, and see where it all ends up. UK reviews for McCartney II were savage back in the day, but didn't it hit number 1 in the UK? I think it was like number 1 there, and it was like number 3 here in the States. Sounds good. McCartney II is a great album. Absolutely. July 18th they'll go on sale. Yes. Oh boy, I told my my boss that makes the schedule. I said, listen, I cannot come into work early next Friday. There is things to be doing early in the day, depending on what time those tickets go on sale, whether it's like noon or what. Let's see here. Kelly says, I am the only one here who likes. Yes, I think you are the only one here that likes Mr. H. Adam. I think that's terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Lynn says that's an ambitious project. Yeah, but it's something I want to be doing only because, you're looking for reasons to listen to certain things again. You put them down, you forget about them, kind of like the first 2 Fireman album, or maybe, a couple of the classical stuff, and especially the live stuff. I barely listen to the live albums. So what I want to do is like spend the next month or whatever reevaluating, some of those albums that I haven't listened to in a while, and go from there. Let's see here. It's amazing. In 1976, when Paul did Wings Over America, tickets were $5. Yeah. Dollar went further back then. Let's see. It was the number 1 here. Yeah, it was. Yep. On the way was my 100 when we ranked our top. Well, yeah, that's right. We did the 101 Macca songs as well. Yep. I don't even remember. I think Did I have Junior's Farm at number one? Maybe. I don't even remember. Let's see here. I still haven't listened to his last classical, Two Firemen, and most of the live albums. Better get cracking. Yep. Yeah, Ocean's Kingdom is. I mean, if you're referring to Kingdom, it's a very enjoyable listen. But I just don't find it as enjoyable as, say, like Standing Stone, Eke Quorum, you know, Liverpool Oratorio. So that one would probably definitely be more towards the bottom. See here, I was on holiday when I tried to get tickets for Paul's UK tour last year, and the Wi-Fi was crap, so it was an epic fail. I did get tickets, but nowhere where I wanted to be. Yeah, that sucks, but at least you got tickets. At least you got tickets. Let's see here. I like my double album version of McCartney II that I made up. I used the long versions in the outtakes, but I left off Check My Machine and Bogey Wobbly since they're a bit annoying. Yeah, but weren't they supposed to be on the proposed double album? And don't be surprised if we get something like that, like we did with Red Rose Speedway, right? Remember how we got that double album released when the archives of Red Rose Speedway came out? Don't be surprised if come 2030, right, for the 50th anniversary, don't be surprised if we get that proposed double album. Wouldn't that be kind of be cool? I think that would be really cool. Hey, you all, you horse ride. Yeah. I mean, it's fun too, but I think that's kind of annoying as well. I love Standing Stone. It was my first classical album that I bought. Cool. That's awesome. It's funny how that happens too, because if you have a different if you have an artist that you love, say your favorite artist, and then he ventures off into different genres of music, that should be a starting point, to try to venture out into other, you know, works, you know, other, classical works. I was just out here on the patio listening to, Beethoven's Ninth, which I think is one of the greatest, pieces of music in history. And it's so delightful, and just love it. I love Mozart stuff, and that's just because of being a Beatles fan or a McCartney fan, and then venturing off into those genres, and then wanting to explore more of that stuff. You know, let's see here. I did get tickets when I got home. Yep, when I get home. Joseph says if we got the double album for McCartney II, I would be thrilled. I would absolutely be thrilled. And, and this is so true. This is so true, James. Buying tickets is so stressful because they go so damn quickly. I kind of miss the days where you get up early, you go to the arena or the stadium or the theater, you stand at the box office line, or you stop at a Ticketmaster. When I got tickets to see Kiss for their reunion tour at Tiger Stadium, I got there at 6 a.m. There was already 100 people in front of me. We were at the record store was called Harmony House. Okay, and they had a Ticketmaster there. So, you wait in line. I think 10 a.m. they go on sale. Luckily, I was able to get all the tickets that I needed. But man, yeah, but buying the tickets for the last time, last time I saw McCartney in Phoenix, it was just so stressful. I pulled over because I was driving to Las Vegas for a job because I was doing the tour catering stuff back then. But yeah, it was just so stressful. Wondering if my Wi-Fi was going to be fine so I can get on the internet because driving from Phoenix to Las Vegas, there's a lot of areas where the connections aren't so great. Oh yeah, 20, 30, 50 years. Yep, I know. Now you feel really old, don't you? Listen, Tony, I'm not a big fan of instrumentals, which is probably why I haven't gotten to them yet. Maybe I will like them. Maybe you will. Yeah. James says, I love Beethoven too. Yeah, I mean, amazing. Amazing. And to think that he wasn't able to hear what he was recording or writing, I should say, and then he wasn't able to hear when it was presented to the public. I hate getting tickets online. Something always seems to go wrong. I prefer the standing line in the old days. Yeah, it was just simpler, wasn't it? It was just somewhere. But then you had to worry about how many tickets are the people in front of you getting. Me, I was there to get tickets for I think 8 other people. So I think I was getting 10 tickets or something like that. And you're like, man. See here, Nick. How you doing, Nick? Good to see you, our trivia friend over here. I know you don't like rumors, but rumors suggest that Detroit. So thank you very much. I know I like facts, right? You like facts. That's what I want. So let's get this tour announcement over with tomorrow. Let's just get it out of the way. Let's see where these shows are going to be, and that's great news. Thank you, Nick, for that. Yes, yes, because that's where I'll probably go all in. I don't know yet. We'll see. Um, Maybe I'll go all in, but then again, if it's a New York, New Jersey show, I'm sure that's Andy and MVP, and then probably Joan and a bunch of other people. That's probably where they're going to go all in. So we'll see. We'll see. We shall see. Anyways, but yeah, that's going to be fantastic if he comes to Detroit, like my cousin said, and it hasn't been since 2017, since the last time he came to Detroit. So, whew, man, I'm just wiped out thinking about that. I'm just wiped out from being excited, And then hopefully the announcement for a new album is not far behind, or maybe he does both at the same time. Wouldn't that be cool? New album, new tour. But then again, if he's doing a new album, why are you keeping the name of the tour still going? Unless he really loves the name of this tour. He must, because he's just still going with it. The Got Back tour. Yeah. Well, we'll see. But anyways, 47 minutes in, guys. Let's keep going. What else is going on? What else is going on? So, Andy and I, we have the idea for our next show. So we'll probably be doing that either tonight or tomorrow. And I'm excited to see Superman tomorrow. I cannot wait. I'm really looking forward to seeing the new Superman movie. I've always been more of I've always been more of a Batman fan. But I love Superman. I used to collect Superman comic books when I was a teenager and then into my 20s. So I'm looking forward to seeing this. It's getting fantastic reviews. The review embargo lifted last night or yesterday, I should say, and it's just getting fantastic reviews. So looking forward to that. So that's going to be tomorrow. I'll be seeing Superman. But yeah, I mean, like, if this is it, this tour, this will probably be the last tour I go to. Um, the last shows I go to this year, because they are expensive. Like Lynn was saying, these tickets are not cheap, and if I'm going to more than one, obviously I'm going to go all in for one, but then I'll kick back to the nosebleeds for the others. Let's see here. Just oh yeah, the new Superman movie looks good. Yep. Lynn says I plan to see Superman in a couple of weeks with my son for his birthday. Very nice of you. Very cool. My favorite was always Batman 2. Yeah, I was a big Batman fan, and then Justice League was my favorite. Was my actual favorite. I've been more of a DC fan over Marvel. But I have read some Marvel stuff, but I just prefer DC. I like the characters better. I like the villains better. So there you go. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. And then we got the fest coming up. In a month. In a month. Happy to say Andy and I will be there. It's going to be cool that Andy's going to be there with his others with his co-host from his other show, Hands Across the Water. Beadley Tone was there, as we saw. Mazzy said he's going to be there, so that's going to be fantastic. It's going to be fantastic. Let's see here. Lynn says, my son is around your age, Tom, so I see all the DC and Marvel movies with them. Cool. Very cool. Christopher says, I'm too more interested in the new album than tour. I reckon Paul has a huge backlog of good songs, and I have no worries that a new album won't contain new magic. Great show, Tom. Keep up. Thank you, Christopher. I appreciate that. Yeah, uh, I I have nothing but positive vibes for this new album coming up. It's with what Andrew Watts has done as a producer with other artists, and the success that he's had with other artists. You know, please tell me that the new McCartney album, is going to be his first with this producer. You're telling me the Chicago Theater is charging too much for me to go see Ringo? I don't know what did you pay? Uh, let's see here. She said I heard Megan 2 was poor. A shame since the first one was real. Yeah, that's they changed they switched genres. So it's not necessarily a horror flick. They just turned it into like one liner. These remember those Stallone and Schwarzenegger films? So from the late '80s and into the '90s, they had to have three or four great one-liners in those movies, in order for them to do the movie, I guess. So it looks like this is going to be more like an action, comedy. But yeah, I mean, I didn't see the first one. I really have no interest in seeing the first one. I did see a movie that I really liked called Companion earlier this year that has to do with AI and you know robots, if you want to call them that. Companion was fantastic. I like it. I liked it a lot. And another movie called Novocaine that came out earlier this year as well, with Jack Quaid. I think his name is Dennis Quaid's son. Anyways, so yeah, I did see F1. I did see Jurassic World, which if you know, and this was the first time I saw a Jurassic movie since the first Jurassic Park, and I just thought, I thought it wasn't a big deal. Um, didn't care for it too much, but I thought I'd just give it a chance. I was just in the mood to see a movie, and I said, "What the hell? I'll go see Jurassic World." And fortunately, it didn't do anything for me. Tony D says, "How do you think his voice would be on?" And I think it's going to be, with him being in the studio. I think they'll do their magic, in the studio, and they'll cover anything up, that might have been bad. But I think it'll be fine. It also depends on what the song is about, right? Is it a reflective song? If it's like a reflective song, then we want the older voice from Paul, right? But if it's like a more new upbeat kind of rocker, then we want Paul's voice to sound, more youthful, right? So there's that. So we'll see. We'll see. I saw Jurassic World. I liked it. It was a lot better than the last two movies. Yeah, see, I didn't see the last two, so I couldn't say. But from seeing the first one and then seeing this new one, there was no comparisons whatsoever. Um, I didn't like the voice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I remember you saying that before, Tony. Yeah. Um, Lynn says Jurassic World is just too generic and formulaic. I thought the first victim would be the young guy, but they kept him for comic relief. But the rest was pretty. Yeah, yeah, yep. There's a few people that you thought were going to die, but they didn't die. You know, But then there's the one guy that you knew was going to die right at the end of the movie. You knew this asshole, he was going to get his comeuppance, and he certainly did. He certainly did. So, so yeah. Okay, 55 minutes in. What else? What else? So then, so then let's say tomorrow it's just a tour. Then when do hints start coming for a new album? And does the new album come out before the tour? Does it come out after the tour? I don't see why this album isn't ready yet. He said in January on his website that he wanted to finish the new album, which in December he said all he's got to do is finish mixing it. How long does that take? And how much of a perfectionist is he going to be on this album? Let's see here. Joseph says nothing they put out will ever beat the first Jurassic movie. They changed the formula for all the sequels. Okay. Let's see here. James says, so do we think Paul's new album will be his last? We always debate it when the new one comes out. I do not. I don't think it's going to be his last. I think as long as he still has a creative bone in his body, that new albums will be coming out. If words keep coming out of his mouth, as long as he still has a voice, I think he'll still be releasing new material. Whether or not he has to talk, on an album, talk his way through an album like Neil Diamond, or or maybe he'll William Shatner his way through through an album. Who knows? We'll see. But no, I do not think this album will be his last. I do not think that. I too would love an edit Secret Friend and Check Machine on McCartney II, remove Front Parlor and Bogey Moves. Okay, there you go. It's not a bad idea. Does finish mean release though? Maybe. I don't know. New album September, October. Let's hope that too. Or just do instrument. No, I don't. Instrumentals are nice, but they're not as memorable as stuff with. I mean, what's his most memorable instrumental? Guys, think about that. What's his most memorable instrumental? Does finish mean release though? You mean the album? I mean, we know he's releasing it. No, yeah. See, Paul can release a classical album. Yeah, he could. He could. I wonder if he will just record loads of songs and just stagger them as albums. Yeah. 222 Ali is a very memorable instrumental. I'll agree with you there. This is my favorite right here. Sing Along Junk is probably my favorite instrumental of his. And James, say what you want about Heather. Heather is a fantastic, especially that intro, but it has words to it. There's lyrics in it, so I don't necessarily count it as an instrumental. Maybe the rockestra, because it's just one phrase that he does. Maybe I'll count that as an instrumental, even though there are the words are spoken in the song. I mean, that's still an instrumental to me. But that has more than just a phrase. There's more to it than that on the lyrics. So I don't consider Heather an instrumental. Lynn says, I just mean if he can't sing, he could probably still write and play. Absolutely. And I was wondering when this would come up. Leave it to Massey to bring up Bitpop Link. See here. Christopher says, I don't have any problems with him using AI to make his voice sound better. It would just be another example of a studio trickery. Yeah, but I don't know. But we expect more from him, right? We have him on a higher pedestal than that. The bar is higher. For we expect more from Paul. He did the auto tune thing for Good Enough, and I was like, okay, that's great. He tried it, he got it out of his system, and then let's hope he doesn't use auto tune again. As much as I think that song is fantastic, I love the lyrics to I love the music, especially the second half. But let's hope he doesn't, go the way of auto tune. Mama Miss America, best instrumental. Okay, that's cool. That's a nice choice. That's a good choice. His new album is called Sequel to. All right, James. All right. Christopher says, I like Mr. H. Adam too, but a shortened version. Yeah. I think a shorter version of that would be more acceptable. Absolutely, indeed. I love all the instrumentals on McCartney. Sing Along Junk is the best. I absolutely 100 agree. Sing Along Junk is by far, I think, his best instrumental on a Paul McCartney record. All right. We're an hour in. And as always, you guys always have so many great comments and questions. I love it. Love it. Love it. So I don't consider him, this great instrumentalist. He does have great instrumentals, but that's what we don't. We always want his lyrics, right? As silly as they may be, sometimes, we want those lyrics from Paul. We want those lyrics. All right, what else? Okay, Lynn. I'm sure there are ways to enhance his voice in the studio without it sounding too artificial. Absolutely. I agree 110%. There's plenty of knobs and buttons and things they can push to help his vocals without using, AI, which is, already starting to take over the world, unfortunately. So, what else? I was able to get all of my CDs out of storage. I found my new cube. If you remember, they did a promotional cube of a glow in the dark kind of, cube to promote the new album. And I found that, very happy about that. So I got that with the rest of my stuff downstairs. Let's see here. James says driving range should have been. All right. I don't necessarily agree. I think there's some good stuff on there. It's just a good thing that that the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is not the only lyrics, on that album. Yes, and Joseph Montenegro got a good laugh out of that one, Mr. Boyce. So thank you, sir, for that. Yeah. So what about the other live albums? He hasn't done a live album since what was the last one? Good Night New York or whatever it was called, or Good Evening New York. He hasn't done a new live album since then. And okay, let me ask you guys this. Besides Wings Over America, what is your favorite live album from Paul? All right, you've got Tripping the Life Fantastic, right? You got Paul is Live, you got Back in the US, and you got Good Evening New York City. Right? I forget, or you can call, if you want to count the Amoeba gig, you can count that one. And if you want to count the Campuchia LP set, you can count that too if you want. But yeah, probably Amoeba. Yeah, that is very very good. Um, Good live show. Yeah. Ali's saying Amoeba as well, which is a really cool store. If you guys haven't been to Amoeba, it's really good. And then there's obviously yeah, you can count Unplugged too, which is a fantastic live record. So yeah, I mean, where would I put you know Unplugged and ranking all of his stuff at the same time? I don't know. I really don't know. But I look forward to doing this, ranking everything: solo works, wings, you know, um, live albums, the experimental stuff, the classical stuff. It's all going to be rolled into one. What will be last? What will be first? I really like the version of Here Today on Amiibo. Very cool. Very cool. Yes. All right, so I'm thinking we'll probably just go to 2:30 here, Eastern time. So we'll go another 24 minutes, and then we'll sign off because I'm getting hungry. James says, "I would love a Wings Over America remix for its anniversary next year. If we have no Back to the Egg and London Town. Well, we're not going to have a London Town and Back to the Egg. I see next year, right? We're going to get Well, yeah, we're going to get two things next year, right? We're going to get the Hasty Master of At the Speed of Sound, right? Because that's its official name. I think we've all agreed that At the Speed of Sound is the correct title for that album. And then later on in the year, we'll get the Half Speed Master of Wings Over America. So we're going to be getting two Half Speed Masters next year, unless he pushes it to January or February. We'll see. But the really interesting thing is going to be in uh, in 2028. Okay, when it's the anniversary for London Town, because I don't see a box set coming out for London Town or Back to the Egg. Now if he skips, London Town in 2028 for these anniversary Half Speed Masters, then we know. Then we know. Or will you all finally be convinced? In 2028, if we don't get a London Town Back to the Egg box set, will you guys finally be convinced that the archive series is done? That's the question. Good evening, New York City was pointless release, far too much carryover from back in the world. U.S. The version of My Love is. Yeah, you have a very good point there. Very good point. I am a huge fan of My Love. I love that song to death. I was very excited that was that was part of the set list for that show, and I thought he just really kind of ruined it. But all in all, it wasn't a bad show, or it wasn't a bad live album. It's just I think he kind of flubbed My Love. Tony just says he disagrees. Well, okay, there you go. Different strokes. James says, I'm dumbfounded that Rock Show is not readily available. I have the DVD, but I would love a Blu ray. Well, he did do a Blu ray back when the archive set came out. He did a DVD and Blu ray, yeah. So when that archive cassette came out, he did do a Blu ray. He did release it on Blu ray. Let's see here, Tonio. We got the live cuts of Highway, Colorful Skies, Flaming Pie, Single Changes. I love the Highway and the Single Changes. Yeah. The live album package is great. The mix wasn't the best for a good evening. Okay. He didn't have a Blu-ray player back in 13. Well, darn it, doggone it. Well, maybe you can go on eBay and find one. Calico Skies and Pie were on Back in the World. Yeah, so yeah, there's three albums, right? Three albums from Paulie that have different track listings on them. What are they? What are they? One's a studio album, one's a compilation, right? And one's a live. What are the three albums that are different? There you go. You guys want trivia questions? In the same answer, put the all three of them. What are the three albums that have different track listings? All right. Let's see who gets that right first. I'm sure a lot of you know what the answer is for that. What are the three albums that have different track listings? Studio, a live, and a compilation. Come on, you guys. I'm surprised no one's answered yet. Best mix probably Back in the U.S., Back in the World, Back in the U.S. Well, that's one of them, Tony. What else? Paul's vocals overall were better in 2002, 03, and 89, 90, and 93. I kind of agree with that. Even though the 93 uh, tour was the first time I got to see McCartney, I don't think it was the greatest. I've heard his vocals, but it was great. It was good fun. Um, Voice says Paul's vocals overall. Okay, did I get that? Yeah, I got that. Let's see here. Granted, seeing the changes in the world, U.S. all the best. Um, yeah, but you're missing one album. You're missing. You got the live and you got the compilation. What's the studio album that has different track listing from the U.S. to everywhere else? Paul's Live was a rip-off release that should be released. The whole cause. I know. Where's another day? He does another day, and he doesn't put it on the damn album. And there you go. Band on the Run. Absolutely, Band on the Run. There you go. There you go, Ollie. Back in the World, U.S. All the best. Band on the Run. There you go. There you go. Does another day, and he doesn't put it on. Didn't he do Fixing a Hole? He didn't put it on the album either. Oh, ay, ay, ay. And Off the Ground too. One of my favorite songs from Off the Ground. He doesn't put on the album. Oh well. Again, the guy, you know, has a terrible track record putting great stuff off of albums. But that's on him, not me. um, let's see. Tony says, Mama gave me her U.S. copy with Hell on Wheels on it. There you go. Cool. Very good. Voice says the Paul Tour videos have been awful. Andy and I, we've talked about that as well on the past shows. Just this, going back to, seeing this, 53-year-old, 54, whatever, 50 to 60-year-old guy, crying while he's playing, All My Loving or whatever. You see the kids, singing the songs. I just hate when they pan to the crowd. Just leave the camera on the band. But yeah, we've talked. I don't want to get into a big rant or anything, but we've talked about that before. Let's see. Joseph says he has a chance when he released it with the live album in 2020. Yeah, yeah. I thought he was in fine form. As the tour got moved along, um, Thought he sounded great in 22. I wouldn't mind at all if he would have released a live album on his 22 tour. You know, so yeah, isn't there a Japanese wingspan with a different track? I'd have to take a look at that, Ollie. I'll have to take a look at that. I think Eat a Home is on it as it was a hit there. No, I don't. Eat a Home was not released in Japan. If it was, I would know about it, and especially if it has a picture sleeve with it. But Eat at Home was more of a European um, single release. I don't think it was a Japanese release. Tony, it's the same thing with stand-up comedy films. We want to see the performer, not the audience laughing. Right, right, right. I mean, we can hear them laugh, right? We don't need to see them laugh. That's the one thing about I don't know if you guys remember a comedy film called Bill Cosby himself. Now, say what you want about Bill Cosby, whatever. However, he put out that film, Bill Cosby himself, which is just all on him, which is the way it should be done, right? And you hear the audience laughing. You hear the audience laughing. Um, and there you go. And that's what I want. I don't want to see people laugh. I just want to hear them laugh. I want the camera left on the Eddie Murphy stuff. Raw Delirious. I think the camera was just always on him. Now you can do, what some have done, and that is, you see the audience walking into the theater or the stadium or whatnot. Okay, um, and all that stuff. But that's it. Then once the show starts, you keep it to him. Yes, should release Get Back album in the same vein as Tripping, Live Fantastic, different songs from different cities. Yeah. Favorite picture sleeping. Yeah, and Ollie. Yeah, I'll get to your here. Well, let me do this Ollie comment here first. From Wikipedia, Eat at Home was released as a single in several European countries. So, yeah, but those other ones, besides, I think the European countries are the only ones that did picture sleeves for them. But I'm going to have to go back and look now and double check and make sure that Eat at Home um, didn't have a picture sleeve with it. But yeah, I mean I think I've got like 11 or 12 Eat at Homes from all over the world. But yeah, but good info. Thank you, Ali, for that. Thank you very much. Favorite 45 picture sleeve. I have a few. There's a Letting Go that has Linda on it. She's on a motorcycle. She's decked out. It looks like leather. And it's from the Red Rose Speedway sessions. Okay, I love the Band on the Run. No, I'm sorry, Jet. Excuse me, the Jet with the naked girl on there. I think that's fantastic. um, there's an Italian 45 of Junior's Farm, and it's a picture of just Paul and Linda, and it looks fake. For whatever reason, it just looks fake, but I love it because it's a picture that I've never seen before of Paul and Linda, and it's pretty cool. There's some great. There's one from Another Day from Spain where I think it's just the image of Paul with the beard, with the Let It Be beard, and it's just like the side profile of him singing. That's a pretty cool one. Um, Maybe one day on the live show, I'll bring out some of my favorites, and maybe that's what I'll do next week. Maybe I'll just bring out some of my favorite picture sleeves, and show you guys and talk about them. Let's see here. I didn't like the mix of. Yeah, nobody does. Nobody did. Nobody did. That's why we're really kind of surprised that. Um, that's why I think everybody was surprised when they didn't do a remix, or when the live stuff came out. When Paul was re-releasing that live. Remember when he did that live release where he did what Paul is live, the Amoeba, um, the Russian album, and there's one other ones too. But everybody was like, well why not Tripping Along? That's the one that needs the the remix or whatever. But yeah, I would love to see that. Let's see here. Yes, there was a Japanese single released for it. Yeah, so then I might have it already. I just got to, when you have so many of them, there's so many of them that I have, 10 to 12 of them, and sometimes you forget what you have. But yeah, I'm going to have to go back then and check it out. Yeah, because I might have been thinking another day, but I think it is Eat at Home. It is. Yeah, I do have it. Yeah, it's with Paul. He's got a little bag in his. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I do have it. I remember now. So thank you for getting my memory keep going there, Ali. Um, yeah, a lot of those Japanese um, 45s and the LPs they came with lyrics. Yeah. Do I like the waterfall? I think the picture sleeve of Waterfalls is better than the song. But that's just me. I've never been the biggest fan of Waterfalls. I think that's one of the weaker songs on the album. But some people really love it, and that's great. That's great. Kiss of Venus was your favorite from McCartney III, Christopher says. I kind of disagree, but I don't hate the song. I don't hate the song at all. I kind of like Kiss of Venus and his falsetto vocals on that. They're okay. They're kind of weak, but it's okay. I'm glad you like that song. Yes. So yeah, there's some really interesting, you know, picture sleeves for the 45s. Some of them just have McCartney's. I mean, this is during like Wings. During the height of Wings. Some of them will just have Paul. Some of them will just have Paul and Linda. Some of them will just will have the whole band on it. And it's just really interesting. What pictures that these countries uses for these 45s. I would like to try to find somebody who was responsible for putting out 45s and for picking out the pictures they would use for these 45s. Let's see, Hamilton, Ohio on slate for the new tour, November 2025. Okay, thank you, Duke. Oh, superstar! Wow, I'm gonna have to go Waterfalls over Mortal Love. Mortal Love might be probably in my top 10 least favorite McCartney songs. So yeah, I'm probably gonna have to go Motor. Or, I'm sorry, I'm probably gonna have to go with Waterfalls. And Duke here meant Ontario. Okay. And says Motor Love is not that bad. Okay, for you, for you, it's not that bad. For me, yeah, for me, go away, or at least maybe cut 2 or 3 minutes. That the song didn't need to be 6 minutes long. So, all right, we got 6 more minutes, you guys. Okay, so Tony says, okay, what about Ula Do Soleil? Never been a big fan of that song either. I know it closes the CD version. Um, See, that's interesting too, right? When you got albums and then you got CDs that are different, as well. Thank you, thank you. What's your favorite fish? My favorite fish is the picture of me that you'll see on Facebook, and it's called halibut. I'm a huge fan of halibut and perch. And there's a Great Lakes fish here in Michigan called perch that I love as well. So halibut mainly. Um, Lynn, sorry, Lynn. Um, okay, so Luke, Superstar wants me to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Uh, should I? Should I do that? Should I give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Um, today, today I'm going to give Luke a thumbs down. Let's see. A different arrangement on Motor of Love might have saved it. A simpler production would have helped. Yeah, I know, but he was so intent on having it sound like Drive from the Cars. So um, there's that. Joseph says excellent fish. I love catfish. Yeah, I've tried catfish a few times. You know, went to a southern kind of restaurant style when I lived in Chicago. We had so much great food. We had like the fried catfish, whatever. And unfortunately, it wasn't for me. Um, but maybe I need to have it prepared a different way. Hello, Tom. Have a great stream. Hey, thank you, Groovy. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for popping in. So good to see you. Louis Soleil, I'm starting to sound like a Subaru fan. And that's okay if you are. You are. But, I'm sure there's a few songs that you don't like, and that's okay. It's okay. You know, why do we have to label what kind of fan we are? I mean, if we're a fan, that's all that matters. This whole, how many, three different levels, four different levels of fandom, forget that. You're a fan. That's all that matters. And you don't have to have all the shit that Andy and I have, or, Joe Mayo. You don't have to have all that stuff to to be a fan, right? As long as you love the music, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Thank you for those purple hearts, Groovy. Christopher, thank you for popping in. He writes, Paul just writes one new song a week. He will have as many to choose from for his next album. Keep up the great work, Tom. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, he drove Motorola off it. James at it again. He at it again. Good stuff, my friend. Good stuff. All right, we got 2 minutes here, so I'm just going to start saying goodbyes here because I'm getting hungry. And thank you, as always, for you guys joining me during the midweek Macca break. Thank you for joining Andy on his live shows on Sunday. Like I said, we're going to be recording our latest show either tonight or tomorrow. So we'll get that off to all of our Patreon family. And you guys get to hear that soon. The rest of you'll get to hear it on Saturday. As long as everything goes all right with the schedule and everything. So there's that. And if you're here and if you like it, please subscribe if you haven't already. You can also check us out on all the audio platforms that are out there. And Andy and I have a great time doing these chats, whether we're separate or together. And we're going to keep doing them. And we love having you. Yeah, and I should have brought that up, James. Thanks for bringing it up because there's a great picture with them two together, and his work alone on Tug of War is fantastic, and he did do the cover of Flowers in the Dirt as well. Tim Allen, perfect timing. Perfect timing. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're having a good day. Joseph says, thanks, Tom. This was a great take. Take care, everyone. Don't forget to set your alarm clocks tomorrow. That's right. That's right. Tomorrow, it looks like we'll have an announcement for the new tour. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep tonight. I'm so excited. I'm sure I'll get a couple hours of sleep, but I'm going to set my alarm clock, and we'll check out. We'll check out. Hopefully, we'll check it out early. I can talk with David and Andy about it, and then maybe I'll fall back to sleep. We'll see. But you guys are great. You guys are awesome. You always have great comments, great questions, and I appreciate you guys so much. I never take you guys for granted or anything like that. And I will see you next week, whether it's Wednesday or Thursday for the midweek Macca break. And don't forget, new episodes should be up this Saturday from Andy and I. So everybody out there, take care, and we shall see you soon.